What's up, team? I need to come out and say this right now. I've really been trying to find time to make this. It won't even take long to make. I just haven't had the time. But preface, just completely everything. Wiztale, Wizzy, and we'll call him Wizzy, is innocent, completely, utterly innocent. And I want to just go over what happened very, very quickly. So, whole time, I explained it in a post, but obviously, a video is going to have people see it a lot more. And I have stayed quiet. That's just because I've been very, very careful with what I say when I say it, besides on posts and things. But I've kind of been vague posting, but now I'm sure you guys have seen I'm not going to play any footage of it because someone who used to actually work for Wiztale, a real person, got copyright struck for using the group behind all this is footage, so I'm not going to use any. Everything here is fair use. So if this video goes down, it is not by my own volition. But I got played like a fiddle. Honestly, I got played like a complete fiddle. I am so sorry to Wizzy. I'm so sorry. This has been ridiculous. This has been totally ridiculous. Everything's fake, all orchestrated by some random group of literally just nobodies in Russia. Nothing to do with Wizzy or anything. And over the past few days, now mind you, this has been going on for weeks and weeks. Around 3 weeks now. I got everything. I got all the slack a week before the other creator, who I shall not name because they don't want to be involved anymore, which is completely fair. I got slack. Oh, I guess it couldn't have been 3 weeks. Well, it's about to be 3 weeks. It's about to be 3 weeks. But I got the slack first from people, and all the accounts I was texting, the Wiztale on Discord. I mean, if you guys have seen, I'm not going to like plug anybody's video because these people just want attention, but they do have every single DM that I had with quote-unquote Wiztale, quote-unquote Adam Santisteban. I was going to explain all that in a separate video, but now that I know that's just a bunch of, I don't know, edgelords looking for attention, this is the only time I want to bring them up. And there's something else I wanted to bring up. In this video at the very, very beginning, they mentioned Samantha McGraw. Samantha McGraw is someone who just passed away in January of this year, and this group used them, framed them to be the fake Wiztale's business partner, and tried to get me to call the cops on them for committing fraud, because this fake legal document here was written by, obviously not really, but they framed it like it was written by Wizzy's business partner, which, you know, they said it was McGraw. I just want to bring that up because that's the one thing I've mentioned a lot in YouTube posts, YouTube comments. That's the one thing I have not mentioned because that is, I think, frankly, this is the most gross part of what this whole group has done. Because you can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not going to look into this group. I'm not going to give them any more time of day. But I'm pretty confident that they just got a random person's GoFundMe and tried to manipulate me with that, which is, and like kind of back me into a corner to then get death threats from people that allegedly knew her. Whether they did or didn't, I don't know, but what my thought process is, I don't think anyone would use their dead friend to lie to people. So I don't know whether or not to believe it, man. But biggest thing here, Wiztale is completely innocent. All the guy's done is use AI, which obviously I still don't like, but that does not warrant the things he's gotten. That does not warrant making me believe that he is sending death threats to multiple people. That does not warrant making me believe that he's a literal criminal. Which obviously this group of people, they are criminals. They've committed fraud. And Hash Rate Agency is looking into it, because you can see they forged Hash Rate Agency here. Fake signature at the bottom, everything. I'm hoping they're looking into it, because I don't want to have to worry about this anymore. But the most important thing, please spread this, share it to the heavens and beyond, please. Wizzy is completely innocent, and I've been played. I've just been played, I admit it. But I had no way of knowing. I really did not have a way of knowing these people were fake. Obviously now I do, now that I've spoken to one of Wizzy's former employees, and obviously since that whole group made this video, they have every DM. I've only sent all those DMs to Lemon and Lime, because Lemon and Lime, actually, there was a 3.5 hour long interview me and him had, and that was when we still believed it was the real Wiz, and I convinced him that it was. 'Cause, again, we were both fooled. I need this to be very clear. I was fooled. I was not knowingly propagating anything. I was just fooled. And I think the most important takeaway, besides that Wizzy is innocent, is what we, and by when I say we, I mean myself as well, what we need to do to make sure this never happens again. This has gone beyond the scope of generative AI use, and if you think anybody who uses generative AI deserves this type of treatment, I encourage you to click off. Just need to be incredibly, incredibly careful, not just who you talk to online, but also who you trust. I know I should have been a lot less gullible. I mean, I admit I was gullible to believe the Wiztale account was fake. I was gullible after I got all the death threats from like 10 different people. I was gullible. I was gullible not to believe Wiztale's post. And now, I don't want to place any blame on you guys, obviously. It's on me. Well, not the whole thing. Obviously, most of the blame's on this group, right? I know that, again, I had no way of knowing, but also, I really should have worked to do my due diligence. And I mean, that's just a lesson to everybody. Always take these things with grains of salt. I should have taken it with a grain of salt. This whole thing that really I've started, I mean, the damage to Wiztale in particular, it's irreversible. He's leaving the community, and that's his decision. That is, from what he's gotten, the slack he's gotten, completely fair. Biggest thing I need to stress, we cannot let this happen again. I personally will not let this happen ever again. I'm not getting into anything anymore. I know I say every time I even mention quote-unquote drama a bit that I'm not a drama channel. Yeah, I still get into something like this. This is my first time ever being something like this. It sucks. This month has sucked, man. So I mean it this time when I say I'm not covering any I guess quote-unquote situations ever again. But that's not the point. That's not the point at all. If you take away anything from this, Wiztale Wizzy is completely innocent. Everything that has happened to me and that I thought was him was due to this group. That needs to be abundantly clear. This group that made this video. But also, don't waste your time interacting with them. There's no point. This is a group of nobodies. There's nobody to quote-unquote out. I wish there was, but there isn't, because from what I can tell, there's a lot of people, and, you know, it's been evident from the death threats they've sent to people that they have a crap ton of like alt accounts and things. There's little to no way to trace these people, and I am so tired. I'm not even going to try, and I don't encourage anybody to try and get involved, because they just want attention, and this is the last I'm going to speak of this, because I know they just want attention. They're probably getting off to this as we speak, you know? Also, like I said, if this video is ever removed, I would not remove it willingly. That needs to be very clear. I would not remove this video willingly. If it has been removed, that means it has been struck. So I encourage all of you to download the video using some kind of downloader service. I'm just going to show you the ones I use for friggin' getting clips for my videos. Use something like OGMB3. Get this downloaded as an MP4. I fully condone any and all re-uploads of this if this is taken down, because I need this to be known that Wiztale Wizzy is innocent. Wizzy, I am so sorry. I had no way of knowing, but I am so sorry, regardless to Wizzy and to Wizzy's former employee. I have to also acknowledge that this is not, I could not have known. I need to make that very, very clear. I could not have known that these people were not Wiz. This was probably some of the most elaborate bullshits I've ever seen in my life. But I'm getting repetitive now. Wizzy's innocent. Please spread this, spread this, spread this. That needs to be known. Every terrible thing is not to Wizzy, but to this group. But leave the group be. There's no reason to engage with them. This is the last you're going to hear about this from me. Don't pester anybody else that was involved either. Don't pester the other creator. I'm not going to even name. Don't pester Wiztale's former employee. I thank you guys for all your support during this, but all I can ask you to do now is just share the dickens, share the dickens out of this video, and download it, If you don't need YouTube Premium, just use a different website. I don't care if it's lower quality. If this goes down, I give full permission for anybody to re-upload it. Yeah, signing off. Wiztale is innocent. I am so sorry. I could not have known. In the future, lessons learned. Let's just do our best to ensure that this just never happens again. I think that is the biggest takeaway.